Wash those plates faster, you need to get them to the operating room.
Nurse Karen shouted at the dishwasher. Sarah Mitchell kept her head down and continued washing the dishes. Her blue apron was soaked, her hands wrinkled from the constant detergent water. This 40-year-old woman was known in the hospital simply as Dishwasher Sarah. No one knew her real story. It had been 3 years since she started working in the kitchen of St. Mary Hospital. She came in every morning at 6 and worked until 10 at night. She didn't talk, didn't ask questions. She just did her job. The other staff had developed various theories about her. Divorced, financially desperate, maybe someone running from her past life. The truth was far more complex. At that moment, the emergency alarm sounded. Red lights began flashing in the hospital corridors. Multiple trauma case incoming. Multiple trauma was announced over the speakers. Sarah's hands trembled. She had been hearing this sound for 3 years, but every time she experienced the same feeling, the fire inside her reignited. Nurse Karen was running around in panic. Sarah, drop those dishes. The doctors in the operating room are waiting for sterilized equipment. But Sarah was no longer listening. She slowly set down the plate in her hand. The sound of the alarm was ringing in her ears. The feeling she had suppressed for 3 years was coming alive again. Adrenaline, composure, and most importantly, the instinct to save lives. She took off her apron and started running. "Sarah, where are you going?" Karen shouted after her. Sarah answered without turning around. "To do my job. My real job." As she ran down the corridor, she observed the chaos around her. Nurses were frantically carrying supplies. Medical students didn't know what to do. The emergency room was full, and the injured were starting to arrive. There had been a major traffic accident, with 6 critically injured. As Sarah ran toward the operating room section, security guard Mike stopped her. "Hey, where are you going? That's a restricted area." "Please step aside, Mike," Sarah said, out of breath. "You're a dishwasher. You don't have clearance to enter that area." Sarah looked into Mike's eyes. They had worked together for 3 years, but Mike had no idea who she really was. "Today, I do," she said, pushing past Mike. There was chaos in the operating room corridor. Dr. Reynolds, the hospital's chief physician, was shouting at the medical students, "Where is this damn team? We have 6 injured and not enough surgeons." As Sarah walked toward the operating room door, Nurse Janet saw her. "What are you doing here? Go back to the kitchen immediately." But Sarah could no longer turn back. She looked into the first operating room. A young man in his 20s was lying on the table, blood seeping from his chest. Medical student Dr. Kim was trying to intervene with trembling hands. "God, I don't know what to do," Dr. Kim muttered. Sarah opened the door and entered. "Who are you? Get out of here," Dr. Kim shouted. Sarah looked at the injured man. Her experienced eyes immediately recognized it. Chest trauma, probably punctured lung, internal bleeding. The procedure Dr. Kim was applying was completely wrong. "Stop," Sarah said in a calm voice. "What?" I said. "Stop. You're going to kill him this way." Dr. Kim was shocked. "Who are you? I'm calling security." Sarah approached the surgical table. "Punctured lung, there's pneumothorax. You need to insert a chest tube, internal sutures for hemostasis. What you're doing right now will kill him. How do you, ... how do you, ... Because I'm a surgeon," Sarah said, starting to wash her hands. Former Major Dr. Sarah Mitchell, 15 years of military surgical experience. "Now, step aside and let me work." Dr. Kim stared at Sarah with his mouth open. You're a dishwasher. Right now, I'm a surgeon." and this kid has 2 minutes. Sarah put on sterile gloves. Her hands weren't trembling at all, her movements perfectly coordinated, as if she had never stopped. As soon as she took the surgical instrument, her 15 years of experience came back. "Gauze," she said to Dr. Kim. "Now." Dr. Kim automatically handed over the gauze. Sarah's authority was so natural that he didn't feel the need to question it. As Sarah was working on the injured man's chest, the operating room door opened. Dr. Reynolds entered. "Who is this woman and what is she doing here?" Dr. Kim stammered. "Sir, this is Dishwasher Sarah, but she... Dishwasher. Get out of here immediately." Dr. Reynolds shouted. Sarah answered without looking up. 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes. "Who are you?" Sarah said while inserting the chest tube. "Former Major Doctor Sarah Mitchell. I performed 287 surgical operations in Afghanistan. And right now, I'm saving one of your hospital's patients." Dr. Reynolds froze. You're a doctor." "I used to be," Sarah said while suturing, "until I was wrongfully discharged from the army 3 years ago." The injured man's vital signs began to improve. He was breathing, the bleeding had stopped. This is impossible," Dr. Reynolds said. "You've been working here as a dishwasher for 3 years." Sarah removed her gloves. "Because no other hospital would hire me. My military background was marked as problematic." What happened? Sarah took a deep breath. She hadn't told this story to anyone for 3 years. "In Afghanistan, in 2021, during my last operation, by order of my commanding officer, Colonel Davidson, I was asked to operate on a severely wounded Taliban fighter. There was no other doctor available, and I had taken an oath I would save everyone. What happened then? I saved him. But 2 days later, that Taliban fighter gave information and our base was attacked. 12 soldiers were killed." Dr. Reynolds listened silently. "My commander blamed me. You saved the enemy. Our own soldiers died," he said. "I wasn't court-martialed, but my file was marked unreliable. When I was discharged, no hospital wanted to hire me. This is terrible." Sarah gave a bitter smile. "I was punished for keeping the Hippocratic Oath. Primum non nocere first, do no harm. I was just continuing to be a physician." At that moment, voices came from outside the operating room. "Dr. Reynolds, other injured are coming. We need a surgeon." Dr. Reynolds looked at Sarah. Dr. Mitchell. "Would you help us?" Sarah hesitated. She had dreamed of this moment for 3 years, but now that it was real, she was scared. I'm no longer a licensed doctor. This is an emergency. It's my responsibility. Please, we can save lives." Sarah thought about the injured waiting outside the operating room. Young kids, families. She had lived for this job for 15 years. "Okay," she said quietly. The next 8 hours were the most intense in Sarah's life. She performed 5 major operations in succession. Heart transplant, brain tumor, trauma surgery. Her hands had never forgotten. During each operation, other doctors in the hospital watched her. Her technique was perfect. Her decision-making ability extraordinary. Dr. Kim, who had initially been skeptical, was now assisting her. "I've never seen such a skilled surgeon," Dr. Kim said during the 4th operation. "Experience," Sarah said simply. "On battlefields, you don't have the luxury of making mistakes. Either you save them or they die." When the last operation was finished, Sarah was too exhausted to take another step, but all 6 injured had been saved. As she came out of the operating room, Dr. Reynolds was waiting in the corridor. "Sarah, I need to talk to you." They went to his office. Dr. Reynolds was looking for something among the files. "You've been working here for 3 years. Perfect record, no complaints, always on time. But I didn't know you were this talented." "Nobody asked," Sarah said simply. "Today you saved 6 lives. It was the most impressive performance I've seen in my 20-year medical career." Sarah was silent. "I have an offer for you. I'll talk to the hospital management. Your license can be renewed. I want to appoint you as chief of emergency surgery." Sarah couldn't believe it, but the notes in my file, ... What I saw today invalidates any paper document. You're a born surgeon, Sarah. This hospital needs you. Sarah looked at Dr. Reynolds with tears in her eyes. For the first time in 3 years, she felt like a physician. "Thank you," she said with a trembling voice. The next day, there was a big headline in the hospital newspaper. "From dishwasher to hero surgeon. The extraordinary story of Dr. Sarah Mitchell." The article told about her military background, her wrongful discharge from the army, and her 3 years working as a dishwasher in the hospital. As Sarah was reading the article, Nurse Karen came up to her. "Sarah, ... I mean, Dr. Mitchell, I'm really sorry. I looked down on you for 3 years." "It doesn't matter, Karen. You didn't know. But why didn't you ever tell us?" Sarah smiled. "Because people want to see first, then believe. I showed you, now you believe." That evening, Sarah went home happy for the first time in 3 years. She had a doctor's coat in her hand, not the blue dishwasher's apron, but a white doctor's coat. She looked in the mirror and whispered to herself, "I'm a surgeon again." She had been punished for keeping the Hippocratic Oath, but in the end, that oath had brought her home.